Welcome aboard, all you wonderful groomers, pet stylists, and canine cosmetologists. You found the Traveling Groomers Podcast, where we discuss lessons learned from mobile and house call grooming. I'm one of your hosts, Chris Bear Anthony. Any moment now, we'll be joined by my co-host and friend, retired mobile groomer and educator extraordinaire, Mary Oquendo, and very likely a special guest to help us chat about all things grooming, grooming industry related, and just plain fun digressions that I will totally wrangle back to topic. Grab those travel mugs and climb aboard to see where today's topic will bring us. Let's roll! Hello, everybody.
Hey, Chris.
Hello.
Hey, Sharita.
Hi, guys.
Weren't you and I on a Zoom earlier today?
Yes. Yes, we were.
Was that today, the Women Petpreneurs?
No, that's something else.
Oh.
Yes, because Sharita and I are board members for the Pet Stylist Relief Fund.
Nice.
So we're getting there.
Okay,
Yes.
excellent. No, I know it's a lot of work, and that will be one of the things that we'll talk about today on episode number 272 that was recorded on August 7th and that will be airing on August 14th. I like how I just worked that right in there this time, Mary.
Yeah, it's nice when you do it in the beginning.
Yeah, it's nice when I remember to do it in the beginning or
Okay.
at all.
So the three of us were actually in Rocky Mountain Groom Expo together.
Yes, that's
Yeah.
where I met Sharita.
Yeah, Sharita was in the booth right across the aisle from me.
Yes. Right
Yeah.
across. I could look right over at you and wave.
Yes.
Did you at least make faces at her once? At least once be like, "Mm." No.
No.
We made eye contact. We made eye contact.
Okay, okay. Sharita's more polite than I am, is
Yes.
what you're saying.
Poor adult. That's not even an insult for her.
I'm like, I think Mary might have meant that as an insult, but I'm going to take that as a compliment. Thank
As a
you very
compliment.
much. Because, yeah.
Anyway.
Opaw's dyed hair.
Oh yeah, I thought it looked a little purpley.
Angie helped me since I was stuck in Colorado. I was very curious if the Opaw's Dahlia Purple would cover my gray and just give a nice purpley highlight to the rest of my hair. And the answer is, yeah, it does.
Yeah,
It
you know
worked?
what? Yeah, the pet shampoos, the pet
Uh-huh.
versions are so much better than the human versions.
Oh my gosh. Yeah, I found a couple of grays and I was like, And they're on the edge. So it's not like I can hide it with the rest of my
Oh,
hair.
yeah.
They're on the edge.
And I've tried it before. Like I've tried those the overtone, which is like for supposed to be for darker hair, but my hair is so dark, it does nothing. It doesn't touch
Yeah.
the grays, it doesn't give a highlight, it does nothing. But this actually,
Yeah, no, it's got a nice little purpley tinge to it. It looks very pretty.
it looks like I got highlights.
Yeah, I keep up, and I'm not keeping it up right now because on Friday I'm going to get my hair done.
With your new stylist, right?
Yes, with my new stylist, who is easily twice the amount of money I was paying with my old stylist.
Mm-hmm.
But sometimes you get what you pay for.
Yes. I try to remind myself that whenever I have to do services for myself, I'm like, you know what?
It's hard.
Let me remember what I say about dog grooming and use it for my own self too.
We're so bad at that. A
Yeah.
lot of us. Like I'm very I started doing my own nails.
Oh God, yeah. So, no, I'm a little ahead of the game. I got my nails done. I don't know if you could see them. I did the tips.
Ooh, Mary, you
Yeah,
actually have
Did
long
you do them
nails.
yourself?
Oh hell no.
Oh, Did you hear yourself? I can't even paint the dog's toenails, let alone trying to do my own. I'm
Okay.
like, oh no.
No, there's just like this mental disconnect. So I've got those kits where you can glue the stuff on your fingers. Yeah, I can't figure those things out.
Oh no, I get all artistic with it. And the problem with that is last time I did go get it done, and because I know how I am so picky. Like I went for a manicure pedicure and they did the cat eye on both, even though I didn't really want it on my toes. They just kind of did it. I'm like, whatever. And it was $90.
Oh, okay. So let me. I did my toes. Okay.
Yeah, no.
And glitter gel, purple glitter gel.
Oh, nice.
Okay. These. Okay. And it cost me without tip $110.
Well, I wouldn't have had a problem if I liked the job they did.
You know what? There's that. And I was lucky because I kind of decided last minute. I'm one of those, oh, hey, can you get me in today? And I got a couple of them, we're booked out 8 weeks. Okay, my bad. I'll make an appointment next time. But I found a place that got me in yesterday. Yeah, yesterday. Because all of a sudden I had free time yesterday that didn't think I was going to have. And I'm like, I'll just go get my nails done. And so I lucked out. Okay. I think they did a really nice job. So I'm really happy with it. I think, though, I might stop off at Michael's and pick up some of those little stick-on jewels.
Yep.
Okay, so here's what you do.
Tell me, Chris.
Get a coat of clear top coat.
Okay.
Because you can put all the stick-on jewels you want on your nails, and they're not going to stay on your nails.
All right, so get some top coat.
Get the top coat. Do the stick-ons, press, whatever, and then do at least 2 coats of clear top coat.
Okay.
Then you're good.
Yeah.
I have a plan.
Yeah, I had to go get the nail polish change. I just told him, I said, I want my nail polish color change because I had neon orange. And I said, just give me something that's going to be neutral to go with everything. So I'm thinking, okay, nail polish change, it ain't going to cost me that much. When I went to the register, it was like $62. I said, wait a minute. For a nail polish change? Are you serious? Yeah, wow. $62. Yeah.
Did they do shaping and filing and do the whole
No, they just took the color off and put on it because I had just got a fill-in the week before. So I really didn't need another fill-in. And after they told me $62, I said, I should have told you to go ahead and just do a fill-in. Even though it wasn't nothing to do, but I'm like, $62 for a nail polish change? Yeah.
Yeah, that's rough. See, like, and I don't mind when I think they did it like a really super job. You know what I mean? But I just, wow, this just went way off. This so way off the track so immediately. I used to do dip, and I did dip for the longest time. Mm-hmm. But I just switched to gel polish, just gel polish on my natural nails because I wanted to strengthen my natural nails. And some funky things were happening. I could never get the dip to last as long as they could at the shop. So whatever. So when she's got the electric grinder going on my natural nail, going vrr, vrr, and I'm like, could you not? Because the entire purpose of me putting on gel is to strengthen and give my natural nails a break from all of the damage. And she just switched to a different bit and like kept going. And I'm trying to be like, no. And she just pretended she did not understand the English words that were coming out of my mouth.
Well, when they do that drill with me, it makes me think about the dogs. Because sometimes it hits the side in the corner. And I said, okay, now I see why the dogs are fighting me.
Yes, now you see why they jump, because it gets hot when they drill too much and it gets, your nail is thin. It gets thin under there. which has to feel like, thank you, you brought it right back to dog grooming. That's got to feel like when we're dremeling right up against the quick.
Yes.
Look at that. You're a pro.
Usually Chris is pretty good at going way off course and then some reeling that back.
it way back in.
But
that was nicely done. That was super nicely done. So we didn't even get to talk about why you're here, and we're 10 minutes in, and it is about time for our first commercial break. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to talk about why we brought you here, what's going on, and about the Pet Stylist Relief Fund.
All right.
First, are the Barkley Honors coming out soon? If you're a dog lover, A Spirited Life is a must-read. Filled with personal photographs, this book takes you on a journey through the life of the incredible Spirit Oquendo. It offers inspiration for anyone who feels life has dealt them a rough hand. Despite facing challenges, this dog, with the support of his mom, Mary, transformed his adversity into something truly remarkable. This book's humorous and touching anecdotes will have you laughing, crying, and occasionally spitting out your drink. Get your copy at positiveed.com/books. Shameless plug. Traveling Groomers also, should be up there. Just saying.
yes, we would very much like the nomination for Podcast of the Year. Just saying.
Just saying.
Okay, so why did we ask Sharita here?
Because when I met her at Colorado and she started telling me a little bit about what she does with Diamond in the Rough, I'm like, that is awesome. Because, well, I'm going to let you tell it. But what I thought was, and I was thinking about this on my way home as I was running late, which is why I have dinner with me. Dog grooming is one of those things that women, or anyone really, let's not be sexist about it, you can get into as a trade if you're a caring person and learn and really make a solid career out of it. Like you can really make an excellent living out of it. So I love it. It's kind of inspiring.
Oh, thank you. I really appreciate that.
So tell us a bit about Diamond in the Rough, and please ignore me shoveling food. I'm not.
No, you are fine. You are fine. You're fine. Look, I actually still got to get me some food too, so you're fine. Look, I'm a late night eater. Diamond in the Rough, I actually decided to start it in October 2022. Whenever I decide I want to do something, I'm like, you know what? Let me go ahead and put one foot forward. I may not know what direction I'm going into, and I just like, let me start by doing this part. So I was like, okay, let me see. If I really want to start a nonprofit, that's always been an inspiration of me for years of being able to do a nonprofit. I just couldn't ever figure out like exactly what I wanted to do with a nonprofit. So how it came about is I'm actually a survivor of domestic violence. Whenever I actually got through my situation, I wanted to be able to talk to other women. My passion is to be able to uplift and just be there for someone, a listening ear. But also being a dog groomer, I love the animals and I love grooming. So I was just like, okay, how can I do both of them? I didn't want to do two different ones. So I was like, how can I combine them together? So whenever it came to my story with my situation, they called me the Diamond in the Rough, but it was RUGH. Mm-hmm. And so whenever I was like, what name can I put as this? So I said, okay, humans and dogs, Diamond in the Rough, like rough for the dogs. So that's how I combined both of them and put it together. So I will be able, my passion is helping humans and the dogs. So it was an easy way for me to be able to do both of them. And with Diamond in the Rough, it's not just me just doing it. It's because what our mission is because I've been there and I've been through it. So the people that we actually help with Diamond in the Rough with like the free dog grooming, it's because I've been in their situations and I know and understand. So this was just my way of being able to give back to the community and to be able to help those that are going through similar situations of what I went through also.
Wow. So what does Diamond in the Rough do? Like,
okay,
how do you work it? Do you vet people? Do you worry about people taking advantage of you?
So basically what we do, we travel through the whole United States. We've done most of the East Coast. So in July, it was July, Rocky Mount. So July was the first time we actually gone to the West Coast. So we travel through and go to different communities and do free dog grooming events for those that are less fortunate. And anybody that's actually really been in a financial bind. Just because I do understand actually owning my own dog grooming business, that dog grooming can be expensive. Sometimes you do have to make the decision to take care of your family, pay your bills, feed your kids, get kids back to school and everything. And the dog naturally is probably going to go lacking because you have to make sure that your household is taken care of. So this was just my way of being able to give some kind of relief. After COVID, a lot of people financially haven't been able to get back to where they was before because everything like skyrocketed in price and everything, and the pay didn't change, but the bills, yeah, the bills went up, but the pay didn't change. So I get that it's hard. Like even like with dog grooming, you can make a lot of money with it, but it's still hard trying to take care of bills that need to be taken care of. So this was just my way of being able to give some kind of relief for those that actually need it. When it comes to wondering if somebody is taking advantage of it, the way I look at it is I never know what someone could be going through. Someone could come to one of my events and they own a Mercedes, a Lexus, BMW, but that car could be paid for. So one thing I do when we do our events, I let my groomers know we're in a no judgment zone. I don't care what anybody is driving. We don't know what their backstory is. So a lot of times it makes some people are embarrassed to come and get help because they know people are looking at what they have or what they may be having on. And there's really a story about it. So the way I look at it is if they're using it and they really don't need it, it'll come back on them. This is just my way of being able to help them. Yeah.
My father-in-law used to always say he would rather give to someone who didn't need, like he'd rather give and be wrong than not give and be wrong.
Exactly. Yeah. And my grandmother, I was raised with my grandparents. We lived with my grandparents. And one thing, whenever I was growing up, you always see people on the side of the road, homeless, begging for money and everything. And one time I remember when I was little, I'm like, why are they always asking for money? And my grandmother would always give them money, or either we would go grocery shopping and she'll make my mom stop and go in the trunk and get food out and give it to them. And I always wondered why she did that. And one thing that always stuck with me was she always told me, you never know whether it could be an angel testing you of what you're actually going to do. So that just always stuck with me. So every time, whenever I see situations, even if I'm out somewhere and I'll give someone some money, it's just something that I'll always be like, you never know. So if they use it the wrong way, that's on them. But I've just done my part of what I needed to do.
It's why I'm a huge proponent of free breakfast and lunches in school.
Yeah.
You don't know. You don't know.
You just never know. Yeah. That could be that child's only like breakfast coming. The only time they eat is there. You never know what somebody's going through really at home. And the way things are in schools now with all the bullying and everything, some kids really are in those situations and they end up they be bullies, or either it's so much just going on now. So I totally agree with the free food and everything. Like, you just never know.
See, what I'm curious about is if the free lunch programs have changed from when I was a kid, because I remembered that we had cards and it was different colors depending on do you pay for your lunch, or like did you pay the set amount? Was it the reduced rate, or do you get a free lunch? So anyone could tell from looking at
That's
your
what I was
card.
just about to say. Yeah. So I
And
know for a fact, yeah, they don't do that anymore. And I know that for a fact, like with my kids, when they were growing up, they end up having to get free lunch. So that's what I'm like, my story really, like, I know what's going on. So that was one thing they didn't know. So kids now can go through the line and it just pops up on the computer now.
yeah, my we were blessed-ish that I never went full on hungry, but we 100% could have qualified for the free lunch, and my mom was too proud to fill out that paperwork and tell people what we made because we own the house. And it's that what you said about you never know from what people drive. If you rolled up to my house as a kid, you'd never know. It was a huge house in a nice neighborhood. It used to be like a 3-family home that, the other people left, and my father he wanted to take over the other floors. But they were paid for. Like, he was older. He got them when he was working at like 2-3 jobs. And when I was around, very shortly after I was born, he went, because my father was a lot older. He went, yeah, I don't feel like working anymore. I'm going to retire. And my mom's like, what? I get it. I get it.
Yeah. And that's one thing is like, you really never know. So it's just like, if I can help, I can help. And that's just what I'm here for to do.
I grew up in a very middle-class neighborhood, had a nice house too. My father had a good job, but he drank and gambled away a lot of his paycheck. So again, never went hungry, but didn't have a lot of snacks in my house either.
Exactly. Yep.
I have very fond memories of the government cheese.
Well,
and not so fond memories of the powdered milk, because I thought that was disgusting.
I did too.
Right? Wasn't that the grossest thing? And my mom, she'd try.
I tried it one time, and I was like, oh God, what in the world? I was like, never again.
Oh no,
my
it was like milk
flavored
flavored water. So what my mom would do to try to make it taste a little better is she would buy a gallon of whole milk and then like cut it half and half, like she'd make the powder and like cut it so it was like a little more tolerable. And I remember as a kid, I would beg for a glass of milk before she cut it. Like, can I just have a cup of milk? Can I? Because if you've ever, y'all, if you've never had to drink the powdered milk as a kid, you just go and hug your parents and say thank you, because it's vile as it sounds. It's nutritious. It's got the vitamins in it. You can you pour it on cereal and it's not as bad. It works. It's functional.
But it's disgusting.
But it's disgusting.
Yeah.
So if you're used to something like that, just a cup of regular whole milk was just so creamy and yeah. And back in the day, the WIC, I don't know if that was a federal or a state program, WIC, Women, Infant, Children. So they had the block of cheese, and it was like a log. It looked exactly like, those logs they sell to border your gardens that are square. It's like but bright yellow. Mary, have you ever seen that? Do you know what we're talking about?
I know exactly what you're talking about.
That was actually half decent. The cheese was good.
Oh my gosh. Oh gosh, yes. We had a lot of grilled cheese sandwiches growing up. A lot of them, yes. So I get it. I totally get it. Back then it wasn't funny to me, but now it is, that I can laugh about some of the things because I really appreciate what I went through to make me who I am now.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you,
Yeah.
you get it.
So you set up the 501(c), is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Whatever the numbers and initials are after it. The
It's
nonprofit.
so many different numbers whenever it comes to that. They got so many different
I
ones
am
now.
so bad at remembering which is which, and Terry DiMarino knows them all like that, like the back
Oh
of her
my
hand.
God.
And I'll
Yeah,
always
she's
say
like,
it wrong.
yeah, you want a 501(c)(6), not the C9, definitely not the C2. And then go on to explain what each of them are. And I'm like,
My brain is hurting after a while whenever I start trying to figure out. I'm like, oh my God, my brain hurts.
which is why you'll notice on the because like we said earlier that Sharita and I are both on the board for the Pet Stylist Relief Fund. Well, I am having nothing to do with the actual formation.
All right, well, wait, it's time for another commercial break, and I'm gonna collect myself because oh, and then we'll
Oh,
talk a
God.
little more about Diamond in the Rough, and then we'll get to I'll try so hard. We started off with such a hard left digression.
Oh,
We'll be right back. As a house call groomer, the idea of van and generator maintenance had kept me out of one for years. But Hanvey Engineering and Design has been making mobile grooming vans for 20 years now and has thought of that. No generator to maintain, repair, and replace. No propane to fill or worry about running out in the middle of winter. Hanvey vans have the lowest operating costs out there. I know I'm sold, but check out their latest innovations for yourself at hanvey.com. And I think that's why, coming from that background, see, I'm bringing the digression around to topical again.
Okay.
That's part of why we have a problem spending the money on that for ourselves, because it's we recognize it's not a necessity.
yeah.
Like, I have a much easier time buying a splurge item at the supermarket
Yeah.
because we didn't always get the name brand or the nice or as much fruit as we wanted.
Yes.
So that a lot, but nails for me, like, I've got polish at home.
Yeah, but I will guarantee you that I could never make my nails look like this myself.
They are quite nice, Mary. Mary has a French manicure with tips. I don't think I've ever seen you with long nails.
Well, they're not my real nails, Chris.
They're real. They have mass and matter, and you paid for them.
Yes. Okay. Yes, these are my real nails.
Thank you. They have mass and matter. They exist on this material plane.
Okay. So yeah, but here again, that goes to, I don't always get my nails done.
Right.
Yeah.
Because why? Besides the fact that I'm not a girly girl.
There's 100% that, because.
But did I tell you my toenails are glitter purple?
I don't know if you mentioned that, Mary. What color are your toenails?
It's purple glitter.
Nice.
So I will actually be wearing sandals at Super Zoo, not walking the floor because, I've got a couple brain cells left. But,
Okay. Well, there are hiking sandals. There are sandals that might be able to handle the Super Zoo floor.
Oh, no. After.
Oh, okay.
Going out to dinner or something like that or whatever. Then I'll put them on. But yeah, I am not wearing sandals to walk the floor.
All right. So
I'm going to be in class Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday from 9 to 3. There's no reason why I can't wear sandals there because I'm not walking the floor.
There you go. As long as they're supportive enough to deal with standing, you're fine.
Yep.
Okay. Go on, Chris.
I was going to do something topic related, but you just choose. It's out of my head. It was something about, so when you started this up, like, how do you go about setting up events? Like, do you get local groomers? Do you get a shop to donate space for a weekend? How do you get the space to do this? How do you advertise it?
So whenever I'm getting ready to do an event, usually what I'll do is I'll actually post on our Diamond in the Rough page, and I'll post who would like to see Diamond in the Rough in your state. And people will comment. So I will look at the comments. So if I'm doing multiple, I try to see like how close they are in case I have to like make a group trip. And so usually how it goes, an owner will reach out to me that owns a shop, and they'll let me know that they would like to host a Diamond in the Rough event. What I usually do is I ask them how many groomers do they have that they may would like to participate. How many tables, how many dryers, how many tubs do they have, and basically how capacity, how many groomers could you actually hold? Because some of the times we bring in our standalone grooming tables, and so we can actually put more groomers in there than what they usually do. And so how I pick my groomers is usually I'll post on there too who would like to participate. Luckily, lately, I've had a group of groomers where I really haven't had to have anybody else to come on, but I do have a list of other groomers that would love to be a part of it. And I actually reach out to all of them. I have them in a group message, and I ask who would like to participate in this state, this state, and this state. These are the dates that will be there. And so that's usually how I pick my groomers. But usually if it's new groomers or if it's somebody I really, really don't know, I'm not gonna lie, I stalk pages. I do look at the pages and because I really want to know their character and everything. And so that's usually how I pick. Like I get a feel of how I feel about them because I don't want any drama with Diamond in the Rough. So I like for everybody to be able to get along. And usually a lot of our events, I tell them this is not your regular day of grooming. Have fun. And we literally have fun grooming dogs. Like we get dogs out of there in like 30 minutes. And I'm like, dog, in my grooming shop, I would have been probably still grooming this dog. And we just get them in and get them out because we're really not doing a lot of fancy haircuts. These are maintenance grooms, just getting them back to like most of them are like 7 or either 10 all over. Mm-hmm. And now if sometimes you can tell whenever somebody is using it and they come in and they want all the fancy haircuts and this is
the dog is
and I'm like, okay,
perfectly maintained and you could tell it got groomed like 3 weeks ago.
Yeah. So that's whenever my little antennas go off and I'm like, ding ding, okay. But at that point it's like, you know what, just go ahead and help them. Like we already know what's going on. Yeah.
Karma gonna get you.
Yeah.
And have you ever had somebody come in where the dog may be maintained, but they asked for like a maintenance cut, so you knew that maybe they were still in a situation that they were about to be out of it? You know what I mean? Like if they were in a bad situation and they're getting ready to leave.
Yeah, I have. I've had that also done also. Like honestly, a lot of the clients, whenever I call them, especially being out of state, some of them won't answer because they're like 919. And if you don't know an area code and it's not in your state, most of the time you're thinking it's a telemarketer calling. So I send text messages and honestly, like a lot of them, they will open up and tell me really what's going on, which lets me understand their situation a little bit more. And I'm like, you know what? Come on, we're going to go ahead and help you. But yeah, we definitely get situations like that where they're like, I'm just getting out of this situation. It's really hard for me. Is there a way you can help me? Yeah, bring them on. Yeah.
All right. So my next question for you is, do you offer other like referral services, like referring them to like domestic abuse shelters?
Yes, here in North Carolina, I actually do. So in North Carolina, I'm actually part of the North Carolina Domestic Violence Association. I'm actually working with them to be able to have a license to actually be able to start like taking classes and being a guidance for the ones that are in domestic violence. So I'm
like a counselor?
Yeah. So
Okay.
Diamond in the Rough is actually registered with the state of North Carolina with the Domestic Violence Association.
Okay.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
I don't think, you know what, wait. I'm going to say this and then I'm going to go to commercial. Because I want to talk a little bit about this because I don't think people who've never dealt with an abusive person or dealt with a narcissist get it, because it's always, well, why don't you just leave? Well, why don't you just leave? So I want to go into that, but I want to take a commercial first because that is going to take a hot minute, I feel like.
Yes, ma'am.
So by now, you know how much I love my Evolution shears. They're the only shears I use. Check out all the options, including customizable non-swivels, at evolutionshears.com and give Abby a shout with any questions you might have. Traveling Groomers listeners get $10 off and free shipping with the code ONTHEROAD, all one word. So check them out today. Your hands will thank you. All right, so we were talking about, quote unquote, why don't they just leave? Because it's that easy, right?
Yes.
No.
Yeah. People think it's easy, and that actually will help me go into the second phase of Diamond in the Rough. So it's not as easy as what people think it is whenever you're in those situations. A lot of people think when they hear domestic violence, they only think of physical abuse. And it's not just physical, it's physical, emotional, and mentally. And to be honest with you, the emotional and mental is way worse than the physical. A lot of the times the physical, those bruises can heal, but that mental is what definitely gets to you, because I'm a 15-year survivor. The last 2 years is the first time I've been able to talk about my situation without getting emotional. So it brings on a lot, like you have PTSD and everything from dealing in these situations. And people can tell you all the time, why don't you leave? It's not easy to leave those situations because you've been in that situation for so long. What's wrong feels right. What's right doesn't feel right. So mentally, your mind is really dealing with narcissists, men and women, because it's not just men. It makes it really hard for you to leave that situation. And whenever there's kids involved in the situation, it's even 100 times worse.
And women can be abusers too. We
Yes.
as women don't like to talk about that.
Exactly.
We don't like to acknowledge that, but that's a thing.
Exactly. And that's what I had to, when I was thinking about it, I said, you know what? That's why I just say victims, because a lot of people think domestic violence women. No, there are some men out here that's dealing with some violent women.
And
violent women.
Can we acknowledge for a second that while they might be the majority of domestic violence, the minority, men are definitely the minority of domestic violence victims.
Yeah.
It's harder for them because, I mean, we don't even know true numbers because A, they're not believed, and B, the shame of you let a woman do what to you?
Exactly. That's exactly what I was about to say.
Even if they do come out, it's rough.
It's so much harder for men to admit it. Like, people look at them like, and so a lot of men are suffering in silence, to be honest with you, because of what people are going to look at them and think, like, you're a man, you're this big, you're not supposed to let a woman beat on you, or either mentally or emotionally get you to that situation. But it's very, very easy for you to be in these situations more than you really think it is. And some people are in these situations and don't even realize it. And a lot of times you're in denial, you make excuses for them, and you don't realize it until you actually sit back and think about the whole situation. So until somebody is really, really ready to leave mentally, there's really nothing that you can do, even though you want to. They have to be the one ready to leave from that situation.
And I think it's slowly getting better in terms of, okay, and I'll talk more about this in my history of oversharing on this podcast. If you've ever listened before, boy, our regular listeners know a lot of shit about my life. But my grandparents were very, very strict Christians, did not believe in divorce. You don't get divorced. Mm-hmm. You don't get divorced for any reason, because my grandma was, she was special. But there were certain things she just didn't comprehend. Like, she just didn't, and and I'm sure there were things going on around her that she just missed. But Grandpa was such a nice guy. She didn't understand certain things, and she always said, you know, you get married, you're married till for the rest of your life, you're married till you die. Until the O.J. Simpson case was all over the news. And she was already in her 80s then, and she just, like, at that point in her life, her kids were grown. It took until then, too fucking late, Grandma, for her to say to them, you know, if he ever raises a hand to you, you can come home. Because it didn't click. Because but she still didn't get the emotional side of things.
Yeah.
Like, she didn't get it at all. So that was a huge untalked about problem in my family, not just with my mom, but with one of my aunts as well.
Yeah, and I get it. It's definitely not talked a lot. So that was another thing with starting a nonprofit. It definitely needs to be talked about, because in our industry there is definitely a lot of people suffering in silence. Ryan's Pet Supply did a story on me last year, and whenever I actually came out and talked about my story and let them know that really dog grooming saved my life dealing with my situation, my inbox was just going off, and a lot of people were able to really come out and just really talk. Whenever I dealt with my situation, I didn't have anybody to talk to, so I was there by myself. It was just me and my kids and the abuser. So it was just like, I felt like I was by myself. I didn't have a way to get out. I didn't know what to do. I wanted to get out, but then it was like, if I get out, how am I going to be able to provide for my kids? Like, I got to stay here because I got to have the money to do this and do that. But then it got to the point
because the kids got
where I was like, yeah, enough is enough. And honestly, like you said, I was raised in a Christian family, and my grandmother, she passed away, but I'll tell you, my grandma came to me a dream and she said, do what you got to do. And whenever she told me that, I just went ahead and did what I needed to do. And so that's where the second phase of Diamond in the Rough, what I'm working on now, is I would love to be able to invest in getting a building. And at the building, it will be basically a transitional housing for victims of domestic violence. At the housing, they would be able to bring their dogs there, because a lot of times when you're in these situations, the dog has to get left behind. Yeah. And you have to hurry up and get out of it. So you leave the pets there. The pets end up at the animal shelter, or either they're in an abandoned home or somewhere. And a lot of the times when you're in these situations, the dogs are emotional support for you. They help you out a lot going through these situations. So that's my goal of what I would like to do, is to have a transitional housing where they'll be able to come and they'll be able to bring their dogs with them. I'm working actually with a counselor right now. So while they're there, they'll go through a program and go through counseling, and be able to get help, because in these situations, you need to be able to open up and talk about it, and have somebody there to just listen to you, because holding it in does not help at all. And the way I look at it, yes, you're going to shed tears, but shedding tears is healing. So you have to be able to heal at the same time. People look at tears as a weakness. Tears are not a weakness. Tears are healing. So that's how I look at it. And once you cry and get it out, you start feeling yourself getting a lot stronger. And while they're there, if they would love to, I plan on taking them through a dog grooming program. So right now I'm actually going through, so I didn't know at the time, Sierra Elbert, if I'm not mistaken, she does the groomers curriculum. She actually has her program there, and our community college actually found out about me with Diamond in the Rough, and I actually will start teaching at Wake Tech, which is our community college here, for dog grooming, which is what I would love to do to transition. I've been grooming for 21 years, so this is my way of still being in the industry,
Right.
but sort of stepping back some, because honestly, my body is tearing me up right now. So, and I need to still be.
We need more
Yeah.
groomers. Like,
Yeah, so
there
they
is a
actually
shortage.
they had offered me the position last year, and I wouldn't take it because I didn't agree with their syllabus and curriculum that they had. And so I was like, well, I guess I won't be doing that. So a year later, like 3 weeks ago, they came back. They told me they had started a program with groomer curriculum. I didn't know who it was. But at the same time, Denise was introducing me to Sierra. And so me and Sierra start talking. And I said, wait a minute, Sierra, I said, are you over groomer curriculum? She was like, yeah. I said, do you work at Wake Tech? She was like, yeah, we're getting ready to help them get their teacher AKC certified and everything. And I was like, oh, really? And I started laughing. And she was like, what are you laughing at? I said, I'm the teacher. She said, are you for real? I was like, yes. I was like, it's a small world. Yeah, so it's like a lot of things, blessings on top of blessings are really like coming right now with Diamond in the Rough. And it's just my way of being able to just like be able to do what I do, what I love to do. So yeah, like I said, that's the second phase of Diamond in the Rough, is to be able to have that transition and then be able to teach them dog grooming in case, and I hope they wouldn't find themselves in this situation again, but you never know what can happen, because sometimes that's what you're so used to and you think that you're out of it and you find yourself right back in the situation again. They'll be able to all the time be able to have a trade to be able to bring some kind of income in if they have to get up and really get out of the situation and go to another state.
Okay.
No.
Kudos to you. Okay.
I am
Seriously.
super impressed. And we're past time to take another commercial. But that's okay. We'll take it now. We still got stuff to talk about. Mary, what do you want to bet we go over? Is Mary hangry?
I'm not taking it. I had dinner already. I'm good.
Nice. Okay. So then we're good. We're good. I got food. Well, oh no, Sharita's hungry. All
No,
right,
I'm fine. I'm fine.
We won't go over too much. Let's get our next commercial in. I love being a house call groomer, but I hate doing laundry or worrying about asking my clients for fresh towels. Raypet has solved those problems for me with the Wet Pet disposable towel. Taking up much less space than traditional cotton towels and easy to wring out and reuse, these super soft, comfy, absorbent towels eliminate any cross-contamination concerns between pets, and now their new smaller washcloth size can even help those sensitive eye areas. Great for cleaning out wrinkles gently and thoroughly. Need to keep water bowls for your clients on hand that are easy to disinfect, but hate all the room traditional clanky metal bowls take up? Or just have a very active pet? Their collapsible silicone bowl comes with an aluminum D-ring hook that can be attached to your pet's leash or anywhere else in your van for easy storage. You can get one by itself or in their handy travel kit, along with a set of 3 tick removers and 1 small wet pet towel. So stop by their website to check it out, raypet.net, and tell them the Traveling Groomers sent you. Alrighty. So I had a segue all planned, and I don't know where it went. I don't know, it went in and out my brain. But I love the concept of including the training so that they have something to do and they have a place to go, because the other half of that, my father, deciding he wanted to retire from at least his main job and just do a couple little side gigs. So there was like some money trickling in for a while.
Yeah.
The other half of that was, well, clearly my mother couldn't work because if she worked outside the home, she would have an affair. I don't know where that logic came from, but I am, I'm familiar with the emotional.
You know where that logic comes from? Because it's projection.
Oh, yeah, because he's. Can you be an insecure narcissist?
Yes, you can.
Yeah,
Yes.
okay.
So if you're
it's so many things that come with a narcissistic man, you won't even believe it.
Right. So you know what? That's something, whether he did it or he didn't, he most certainly wanted to. And if he wanted to do it, everybody wants to do it.
Yeah.
Everybody wants to do it all the time. And yeah, no. Oh no.
We lost her.
We lost her.
Keep chit-chatting.
We'll keep chit-chatting for a minute and hopefully she'll jump right back in. Or do you want to make
No, we can chit-chat. We can chit-chat.
I was gonna say I could actually
I saw a meme earlier today.
video edit.
And it was the two chipmunks saying, which group of sisters are you? The two chipmunks, two girl chipmunks that are like so stylized and put together, or the two, and I'm not quite the sloths, are they from the Ice Age?
The sloths from what?
Ice Age?
I haven't seen Ice Age.
You haven't seen Ice Age?
No.
Holy cow. You have homework, Missy.
All right, but have you seen Fido or Train to Busan?
Hold on, what was the other one?
Fido?
Hold on, maybe.
Or
I see a lot of movies.
Train to Busan. Opposite of Ice Age.
Fido movie. Let's see. Oh, here she is. She's back. But now I gotta go see what Fido is. Fido.
I'm so sorry. This phone, I looked, I was like, oh my God, it's going dead.
Oh no.
Well, here's the thing. I don't think I've seen Fido, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna watch this now.
To make sure you got the correct Fido, it's a zombie movie, right?
Yes.
Oh
yes.
no. It's like, it's my favorite zombie movie. We knew you'd come right back, so we just went like way off just so we could bring it back just for a minute.
Oh my gosh.
My favorite line in this zombie movie is,
I've seen this movie.
oh.
Yes, I have. They're playing it right now. I have definitely seen this movie.
All right.
And what was the other movie we were talking about? The Train to what?
Busan?
How do you spell that?
I don't.
Never mind. I got it. Train to Busan. It's a horror film.
Oh, it's also a zombie movie, actually.
Also a zombie movie. Maybe.
It's subtitled.
Yeah, no, maybe, because we watch a lot of Korean, Japanese zombie movies that are subtitled. So I'm going to say probably, but she has not seen Ice Age. Oh, don't tell me you haven't watched Ice Age either.
I have. I love it. I watched it all the time. Look, yes, I watch all the Disney movies.
Well, okay, I didn't have kids, so not all Disney movies.
I don't think it's a Disney movie. I think it's a Pixar movie.
Well,
I think
not all not all the Pixar movies I went and saw, because
but usually Pixar movies have an element of things for
Stuff,
the
stuff for the
and
adults.
They're a little bit adult instead of kids.
You mean like Coco? Is Coco Disney or Pixar? Coco's Pixar, right?
I don't know. I
Coco.
think didn't merge anyway.
What was that?
They didn't
Yeah, they
pick-
might have. They might have.
Go watch Ice Age. She's like 4 of them already, or something like that. Watch the first one. It's your homework. I'm gonna follow up with you.
Yeah, I'm going to tell you right now. It's going to take me a very long time to complete that assignment because I'm like, yeah, okay.
Well, you're gonna be on a plane, right? See if it's playing on the plane.
That cuts into my sleeping on the plane time. I will see. I will see if it's playing on the plane and I will catch a little bit of it. All right, where were we in terms of actual?
You had a segue.
I had a segue. I was basically that yeah, my mom couldn't work because she would clearly have an affair because he was doing the projection, and she managed to find a job where it was pretty much all women at the office, and she drove a school bus for Head Start. So there were no men around, so he grudgingly allowed her to do that.
Yeah.
So if that doesn't say emotionally abusive
Yeah.
to you,
Yeah.
I will also say I am apparently both stupid, lazy, and ugly. Because that was what I grew up. I was, stupid and lazy. Which now that I've kind of mostly gotten away from that, or at least figured out that he was a bit of a dick. It was ironic because my father wasn't the sharpest tool in the shed. Like, he wasn't stupid, but he wasn't the sharpest tool either. So for him to call someone else stupid was projecting.
Yeah.
Like, to give you an example, my father loved Archie Bunker, and he would laugh at him, and my mother would laugh at my father laughing at Archie Bunker because dad was Archie and he didn't get it, like he didn't
Yeah.
know. So my mom laughed at him, and she could do it quietly, so because God forbid he was being laughed at. So she got a kick out of being amused at my dad not realizing he was laughing at
Yeah.
himself. So yeah.
Yeah. I totally get it. Yeah. And if you dealing with a narcissist and they're insecure, that's the world. That's why I said, yeah, that emotional and mental is really, it's worse than the physical.
Because when you see the physical, everybody knows, and it's easy, and it's not easy. None of this is easy. I misspoke, but it's easier to spot.
It heals quicker. It heals
Yes.
the physical heals a lot quicker
Yes.
than the mental and emotional. And the reason I say that also is like, even whenever you do get out of these situations, it's a lot for you to go into another situation.
Yes.
Because you bring that. So I tell females all the time whenever I talk to them, don't jump into another relationship. Heal yourself first. Because honestly, say for instance, you do meet the right man and you jump straight into it from what you just dealt with. That's not going to be fair to him because you're going to take what you dealt with this guy that was wrong and put it on to him.
And when you have generational abuse.
Yeah.
I mean, I had these 2 dolls because I went through a phase where I loved the dolls, those old-fashioned ones with the porcelain heads and hands like they had on Little House, because we watched Little House. And I had this one that I loved. It was so pretty. And my mom, I'm glad she was comfortable enough to say this, but I think I may have eventually gotten rid of the doll because I mentioned to her, yeah, I remembered that day we bought it. And she was like, yeah, I do too. I would have bought you anything in the store that you wanted because I was very suicidal at the time and wanted you to remember me well.
Oh,
Because she was taught you're married till you're dead.
yeah.
So for a hot minute, she was like, okay, well, this is a sin too, but it's a way out.
You know what? Also, going back to our generation, okay? Things weren't there for women either, okay?
Yeah.
Women couldn't necessarily get a credit card. They couldn't rent an apartment. They may not have been able to get a job. And if they got a job, it was, pretty low pay,
Waitressing.
So, so I know I see a lot of posts of, what we should be back to our grandparents' day when people stayed married, and they're like, yeah, I don't think a lot of those marriages stayed together because they loved each other. It's just
exactly.
Yeah. When people say, oh, we should go back to my grandparents' time, you mean when my marriage was illegal? When my marriage was illegal in half of this country, I could be, let's be fair, it wouldn't be me, it would be my husband that would be carted out of the house in the middle of the night.
Yeah, when my husband and I got married in 1980, that law had just been, the fact that interracial couples could marry was only a couple years old.
Wasn't it 76?
Yeah, something like that. So we got married in
Now I got to look up Loving v. Virginia.
So, yeah, I would personally not want to go back to my grandparents' time. Okay, no, I'm much happier here in 2020, and probably would be happier in 20 more years from now.
Right. A lot of those marriages were arranged. And like you said, a lot of times you were not allowed to have a voice as a woman. It was just a lot when it came to it. I remember my grandmother, she did everything for my grandfather, but my grandfather didn't mistreat her or anything. But I remember she used to and I said, I would never do it for my husband. She used to clean his feet for him. And ew. I used to run out. Yeah, I would run out the room when she do it. And when I say that, I'm like, ew. I'm like, oh my God. I was like, yeah, she really loved him because there's no way that I would do that.
Oh God, I was just taking a bite of food and I just got a vivid image of my father's toenails that were all the thick and the fun.
She would take all that off, all of it. And I'm like, and she would be sitting there with a biggest smile on her face. And I was just like, ew.
My mother-in-law was 16 years old when her marriage was arranged to a much older man who was abusive and narcissistic.
Yeah. 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 And that's just no, I wouldn't dare want to go back to those times doing that. And that's a lot of times, a lot of these men, whenever you think about it, for men in a man's situation, a lot of the times, what their issue is with the narcissist and the way that they're acting, if you really get down to the bottom of it, there's mommy issue somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there's a lot of mommy issues out there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, we're going to start now. Let's moving over to Pet Stylist Relief Fund.
Let's take our last commercial break and go to finish up with the Pet Stylist Relief Fund, because that's somehow more cheerful than talking through generational trauma. And speaking of continuing education, because we either were or will be, join the Andis world-class education team each month for live interactive virtual classes. You'll learn new and trending styles, as well as tips and tricks from some of the best groomers in the industry. Whether you're looking for basic skills, trending styles, advanced techniques, or even just ways to spark your creativity, the new Andis Grooming Education site is your source for finding what you need to create your way for success. Try new techniques, learn from the pros, and grow your confidence today at andis.com/groomer education. Traveling Groomer Podcast listeners, hey, that's you, can get 25% off your first course today with the code VEGROOMING at checkout on andis.com/groomer education. All righty. So the Pet Stylist Relief Fund, I am very glad
Okay, so
that's
it's
getting
meant
worked
to
on again.
replace Groomers Emergency Assistance Fund, GEEF, Chief, whatever you want to call it. It folded several years ago. So it's starting up again. It was Denise Hero's idea to move this forward. And so Sharita's on the board, I'm on the board, Angie Coates, Karina Stamworthy, Reginald Moorer. Did I leave anybody out?
I don't think you left anybody out. No, is it Amanda? Did you name Amanda?
Oh, Amanda McGrath. Yep.
Yes.
I knew I was leaving somebody out.
Yeah.
And actually the most important person, because she's going to be the money person, counting. As far as I'm
she's
concerned,
the one to keep track of. You're a 501 what? Something. She'll know what the rest of that sentence is.
well, yeah, there's a couple jobs that I will not ever take on as a board member, and treasurer is one of them. Pay me to do that. Okay.
Yeah, when Denise asked for that position, we were all quiet.
Yeah, we were all really, really quiet. Yeah, no, that's not me. Honestly, I would rather have my fingernails pulled out than do.
Oh,
Okay. So very much thankful for Amanda McGrath stepping up for that part of it. Okay. But it's not quick and easy to put together a nonprofit. Okay.
No.
The IRS makes you jump through a lot of hoops. Okay. But once we clear those hoops, we'll be up and running. Okay. But I kind of want to be like really clear with like what the mission for this is. Okay. What it is and what it isn't. Okay. What it is to help groomers in situations beyond their control, meaning emergencies and disasters. Okay. Wildfires, earthquakes, tornadoes, hurricanes, things that they can't really plan for. Okay. It is not meant to take the place of insurance because, you know, first of all, you can only give out what we have.
yeah.
That's number one. And there's going to be limits on it too. It is meant as a Band-Aid, I guess, for lack of a better word, to give a little bit of assistance while you're waiting for insurance money to come in.
Now, I have a question.
Go for it.
What if something happens and it was something that you were unable to be insured for?
All right, there. Okay, let's take Florida, for example. Okay.
Say
Florida.
you can't get flood insurance because you're in a flood zone.
Yeah, that's true. And there's nothing that we can do about that. We could still only offer what assistance we have. So we're not there to like rebuild businesses. We'll start having relationships with vendors so that we can get equipment at cost rather than, so it's there as an assistant, is not something that for anyone to think, well, I don't need insurance, I'll just put a claim into the Pet Stylist Relief Fund if I need it. That's not the thinking that you should have, okay? Because you're a business, you still need to plan accordingly, okay? And yeah, there are a lot of insurance, especially with climate change, that a lot of the insurance agencies are starting to pull out of certain areas, such as Florida, because they've been so hard hit with hurricane after hurricane after hurricane after hurricane. And we're early in the season. This is really early in the season.
Yeah. Yeah. Like, didn't there used to be maybe one hurricane a year? Maybe.
Yeah, not
Yeah.
this early either. So, prepare. Okay. So, and I think part of what we want to do is education. Okay. All right. So again, I'm just throwing Florida out because we know they're pulling out of a lot of the insurance. I'm sure other states are doing the same thing too. All right. So you live in Florida. Okay. You can't get hurricane insurance. You can't get flood insurance. How do you protect your business? All right. So we're hoping to do some education or push for education on how do you prep your business to survive a hurricane.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Okay. So yeah. In fact, Positive Ed just did a safety summit. I don't know if it's still up, but Kate and I did a 4-hour emergency and disaster planning program. Positive Ed. Let's see if that summit is still up or that's gone. Oh, no, it's still there. At least for people who have a membership.
Okay, nice.
Okay, come on, cheer up a little bit. This is good news, right? All right, so and then it's just like continuing education.
Sorry,
right?
I'm having hurricane PTSD.
Well,
like, oh God, we're gonna be fine this year. We're gonna be fine this year.
I'm kind of glad I'm on the West Coast.
Yeah.
The East Coast is like it's pouring raining outside right now.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And so you're down south and Chris is now up north. So all those storms that you're getting are heading up in her direction.
Heading up towards her, yeah. Like everybody's canceled their appointments for tomorrow that I had.
Yes.
They canceled school
Same.
for Thursday and Friday.
Okay. And understand too with insurance, like for your example, right? Your business interruption policy may not cover the loss of that income because it's excluded because you don't have flood insurance.
Mm-hmm.
We could spend a lot of time on this topic, Chris.
We really could. And it's I just want to say, take a moment to go over what insurance you do have and what it covers. Because, for example, what happened with my house, because it was my in-laws' house and they'd had insurance and there'd been floods before. So we're like, oh, they've got it insurance on the house. Yeah, they didn't have flood insurance.
Yep.
And we didn't know that because since we're in a flood zone, the flood insurance was prohibitively.
And that's another issue.
Correctly, yeah. It was so expensive.
It's in a flood zone. You might have to weigh pros and cons. Well, instead of dropping, I don't know, $2,000 a year for flood insurance, do I take that $2,000 a year and put it into an account instead?
Yeah.
Maybe we get Kate Kate Klassen up as for an interview to discuss this very topic because we're already over an hour and I probably have another 2 hours of stuff I can talk about.
Yeah. But so when is the Groomers Relief Fund? No.
Pet Stylist Relief Fund.
Pet Stylist.
The best we can tell you is that we are working on it.
Okay.
Yeah.
It is not up and running yet, but you're working on it.
We're working on the website. And here's the thing. This is how much I would hate being a treasurer. It's like dump all the other projects on me. I'm okay with that. Okay. Need the website? Yeah. I'll take care of it. Just don't make me add up numbers.
I've legit am working on a new project and I've had to call in friends to help me math.
Yeah.
No.
You know, and anybody who like, oh, I love doing numbers.
You can have it.
You can have, you know what? Kudos to you because that's It's why I have a calculator on my phone.
I was just about to say that, Mary. Exactly. That's what my phone is for.
Yeah, my husband, right? He does the house accounts.
Mm-hmm.
And he'll double check his work with his phone. But he sits there with pen and paper and he adds and he
Oh,
subtracts.
gosh.
Yeah, I know. That's why I think that's really nice that you do that.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's
So
like that's like
we're
how
hoping, we're hoping that by Hershey we'll be up and running. We've
Okay.
already had a couple fundraisers. So we've had the versatile pet stylist. So it's
That's right.
5 hours of workshops that are pre-recorded, that are up on the website. I believe it's,
That's
you know
right. I
what?
had a workshop on that.
I thought you did.
I
Hold on.
did. Which one it was, I don't know. It was
Okay,
a
so
class though.
versatile pet stylist, which you can buy. It's $100. Wait. Yeah, it's $100. And you'll have access to the recordings for 3 weeks. And let me see, I'll tell you what's up there. There's it was sponsored by Pet Pro Classic, which also gave us the money to file for our 501(c), whatever the letters are. Okay, Angie Coates did educational necessities. You did ergonomics. Lauren Mosquita did something on hand stripping. Chrissy Newmeyer Smith did on something on behavior. And Aga Pluta did something on dilutions or shampoos and stuff. Right. We have another one coming up, another series coming up on time management. Okay. And please don't ask me what the workshops are on that. They're all on time management. Okay. And that is sponsored by Boss Pet Edge.
Okay.
Okay. So we already have some corporate support, and we're just looking for more of it down the line. But this, you get education and you help put some money in our coffers so that when there is claims put in, we have the money to give out.
And that's super important because you can have all the well-meaning wonderfulness in the world, but if you don't have the money to help people, you don't have the money to help people.
And to understand, the board is strictly volunteer. Everyone on the board is volunteering their time and their expertise. Okay. All of the workshops that are taught by speakers, they are volunteering their time for that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, Chris.
All right. It is about that time. Thank you so much for coming on. And I am really glad we had this, and I'm also really glad I held it together because I shoot all my emotions out through my eyeballs, and we started talking. You started hitting the psychological, emotional abuse, and I was like, yeah. So I had my moments, and I'm glad I had the tissues, and I had previously pulled the top one off, so they weren't even covered in dog hair this time. That was awesome.
Oh, trust me, I get it. I be holding mine back, so trust me, I get it.
Yeah. All right. Well, guys, I will, once I find buttons, I'll hit them, but we will see you in Super Zoo. By the time this airs, I will already be leaving Super Zoo, getting ready to leave Super Zoo on my way to Chicago on the All American grooming show.
Okay.
And we'll see you guys next week.
All right. Thank you, guys.
See you around. Thank you for coming.
Thanks.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye. Well, that was fun. But now it's time to head home. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed chatting with you. If there are any topics you'd like us to discuss or guests you want to see join us on this crazy road trip of ours, let us know in the Traveling Groomers Facebook page. Don't forget to thank our sponsors. And see you next week, guys. Safe travels!